Court Justice Clarence Thomas is under new scrutiny, this time over private school tuition fees. A ProPublica investigation published Thursday found Republican donor Harlan Crow paid for 2 years of tuition for Justice Thomas's grandnephew. Thomas did not disclose the payments. This is the latest in a series of reports about the financial ties between Thomas and Crow. Earlier, CBS News spoke with Justin Elliott, one of the co-authors of the ProPublica report, about the pair's long relationship.
This is a extraordinary friendship. I mean, certainly not like any friendships I have, where Harlan Crow has paid, $100,000 perhaps of tuition for Justice Thomas, has taken him on lavish cruises around the world, has allowed him to use his private jet. The other story we reported is that Crow actually bought some real estate from Justice Thomas, and Crow currently actually owns the house where Justice Thomas's mother lives, and Crow does not charge her rent. So we're just seeing a lot of, what ethics experts are telling us are, incredibly unusual, if not unprecedented, financial ties between this billionaire political donor and a sitting Supreme Court justice.
CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford joins me now. Jan, in this story, is this a new data point that contributes to essentially what we already know about Thomas and this relationship, or is this a new kind of problem for him? And what's his response been?
I think this is yet another kind of revelation about Justice Thomas's kind of failures to disclose certain gifts that Democrats say the rules were clear and he should have disclosed, and Republicans say, well, they're not all that clear and disclosure wasn't required. So this is from the same wealthy billionaire friend, Harlan Crow, who also paid for luxury vacations for Justice Thomas and his family, and then bought real estate from Thomas's family, including a house that Thomas's mother still lives in. Now we have this latest report that this billionaire wealthy friend also paid for tuition for Justice Thomas's grandnephew, who he had taken in when he was just a boy, 6 years old, to raise as a son. Now, Democrats say this is a clear violation, that Thomas should have disclosed all of that, including this most recent revelation about the tuition payments. As I said, though, Republicans say, well, look at the rules. The rules say that you only have to disclose gifts to children or stepchildren, and this is his grandnephew. So we're kind of in this partisan dance here in Washington, which it always kind of seems to be this way, between Democrats saying that Thomas should have done more and this violates the rules, Republicans saying, no, the rules are kind of unclear, and this is an effort to smear Thomas and undermine the court. So this is, again, part and parcel of that, John. But I do think where we are headed and kind of where both sides seem to be starting to come together on is that the court needs to do more to adopt a formal code of conduct.
And there was a hearing this week that broke down along those lines that you just so accurately described. And does the code of conduct then come out of the Senate or out of Congress? Or is it something the court has to make up on its own to fulfill what you say is this kind of Republicans and Democrats agreeing there has to be something?
Right. And, again, being politics and being Washington, no one agrees on that either. So Democrats and some, not all, but some of the Democrats say, this has to be something with real teeth on it, with people who can come in, an outside committee who can look at some of these disclosures, and people can file complaints. And then there's a formal hearing mechanism. So they're much more willing to have Congress set some of these rules. But then you have others, and Republicans especially now, let's go that way, who say that's separation of powers issues. You can't have Congress telling court what to do. We're just saying that the court needs to do this. Let the justices adopt these, and real rules with teeth that are more in line with what the lower courts do. So again, no agreement on that. And the court, remember, John, I know you know this. The court has been talking about a code of conduct for years. Years, and they still haven't come up with one. Whether this is finally going to force their hand, who knows? But I think one thing that the takeaway from all of this is that there is obviously heightened attention now to the justices' disclosure reports, what they are disclosing, whether the rules are clear. And what you're starting to see now is that you're seeing kind of more conservative outlets and senators come forward and say, well, what about the liberal justices? They've taken trips too. They've done this too. So the bottom line is this is all a big mess. And, the court could be well served by just going ahead and adopting more of that formal code of conduct, which I said they have been talking about for years.
And we'll see if they'll be talking about it in a few more years. Jan Crawford in Washington. Thank you, Jan.
Thanks.